Morning, everybody. So I'm with the Building Change Trust, and we're delighted to be sponsoring the BelTech conference, especially because it's such an unusual but interesting place for us to be. I suppose to explain why we are here and to give just a little bit of background before moving on to the panel discussion. So the Building Change Trust was set up in 2008 with a £10 million National Lottery grant as an investment for community capacity building and promotion of the voluntary community and social enterprise sector. So in pursuit of that mandate, we work on a number of different themes, one of which is social innovation. And within social innovation, we've identified digital social innovation, or tech for social good, as an area of key opportunity in Northern Ireland. So the term social innovation essentially refers to new, more effective solutions to social problems. But it's not just about the solutions or innovations in and of themselves. It's also about creating new capabilities and relationships that not only address the immediate problem, but enhance society's capacity to act in future. So although our particular focus is on helping the voluntary community and social enterprise sector to adopt social innovation practice, we obviously can't do that in isolation. And I think innovation flourishes best where people with diverse expertise and passions come together around a shared problem. So with our work for Tech for Social Good, we want to create space for the digital technology and voluntary community and social enterprise sectors to come together and co-create solutions for real-life social problems. Over the last few months, we've been doing some research, and the Young Foundation, who are one of the leading global thinkers and practitioners of social innovation, have been doing that research for us. And Ashley Ball is going to speak in a few seconds about her own experience in the Tech for Social Good field. We're also delighted to have with us on the panel Glenn Main from Social Innovation Camp, with whom we're sponsoring a project in Northern Ireland at the minute, and Matt Johnson from Digital Circle, who I'm sure needs no introduction. Thanks also to Tom for moderating the session. Basically, that's it from me. Please do visit our exhibition stand and also come along to our breakout workshop immediately after this session, which I'm delighted to say will be hosted by the Lord Mayor Martin O'Muller and Jean O'Flaherty, the Chief Legal Counsel to the Mayor of Boston. So I look forward to chatting with many of you over the course of the workshop. Thank you.
Hi, so my name's Ashley Elizabeth Ball, and I'm the head of digital media and movement building at the Young Foundation, which is a leading independent centre for disruptive innovation based in East London. The Young Foundation takes its name from social entrepreneur, pioneer, and activist Michael Young, and for the past 60 years, Michael brought together collaborations of the brightest, the best, and the most innovative to solve social problems, both within the United Kingdom, across Europe, and we've also done some things around the world. We are behind the Open University, which the School for Social Entrepreneurs, Uprising, and a host of other organizations. So when I was first asked to be a panelist for BelTech, I looked over the stellar list of individuals who are on some of the panels here. Brilliant people from Microsoft, Women Who Code, and mayors of various cities around the world. And I thought, ooh, I'm not a techie. I know a little bit of HTML, but I don't know if I'm appropriate for this. And then I read Turning Up the Dial, Digital Social Innovation in Northern Ireland, and then I realized actually I might have one or two things to say about that. So before I tell you a little bit about my experiences in that area, let me just start off with a quick definition of what digital social innovation is. And I'd just like to quote directly from the Turning Up the Dial report that the Building Change Trust commissioned and that my colleague Sophie from the Young Foundation actually wrote. And so we define digital social innovation as the use of digital technology to enable new or more effective solutions to create new or more effective solutions to social problems or needs. Digital social innovation covers a wide range of activities, networks, and tools. For instance, it enables communities to generate content. Think of websites such as Wikipedia. It also includes action on problems, such as the Young Foundation has a movement called Action for Happiness. And then you can think about tools such as kiva.org that help entrepreneurs around the world get funding for their work. Anyway, fast forward, let me talk about some of my past experiences before I came to the Young Foundation in this area. So between 2007 and 2010, I worked for President Barack Obama and the Democratic Party in the United States. And whilst my role wasn't exclusively digital, everything that we did was based around digital technology to galvanize individuals either to vote for Barack Obama or to support his policy initiatives. Actually, sorry, haven't used the panel yet. Haven't used my presentation yet. So there I am with my old boss. And when we were actually organizing around healthcare reform, it's such a complicated issue that, and for about a year, we didn't even know exactly what the law that was going to be passed in Congress eventually was going to look like. And so in order to get people excited and passionate about supporting the President's initiative for healthcare reform, we decided that the most effective way to get people interested was to submit their personal healthcare stories through barackobama.com, which I've got a little logo up there. So we used our website to enable people to share their personal stories. We also used our website to inform people how to vote, where they should vote, and various rules and regulations regarding voting, because it's extremely complicated. And they have, in America, it's not just one day where you can vote, there's whole long periods of early voting and so on. So moving on, after my experiences in the States, I went to the London Borough of Lambeth and I set up a hackathon called Made in Lambeth. And we basically took the hackathon methodology to solve community problems with people from a range of skills and talents. One initiative we actually did at this hackathon was to work with the largest credit union in London called the London Mutual Credit Union. They wanted to tackle payday loans. And so over the space of a weekend, we brought in different members of the community, as I said, with all kinds of skills and talents, to build a campaign around this and to actually develop an ethical payday loan product with the hackathon. And we both worked online and offline. And so we as much as we used the hackathon methodology, but we also we had our website that we got people to share their ideas and organize online to ensure that we would get the action offline. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let me just to conclude a little bit. So digital social innovation isn't a solution to the world's social problems, but it does help us to better address many of the issues we face with practical tools and processes. Here in Northern Ireland, I really believe this country is ripe for a social innovation movement that harnesses the power of technology for social good. There's already so much going on here, but there's so much more that we can achieve as long as we continue to work together and push aside our fears of failing. Citizens must be at the heart of digital social innovation, and collaboration across sectors, academia, and private, and all kinds of organizations. That is the key to success in this area. Looking at some of the examples in the report that Sophie has written, one that really stuck out in my mind was the Public Achievement Project, WIMPS, which stands for Where is My Public Servant? And I think it's really inspiring, the work that they've done over the past decade to encourage young people to understand politics and become more involved. Anyway, so thank you so much for including me on this panel today. I'm going to hand over to some of the other guys sitting up here with me. Thank you very much, and please join us for the breakout session after this panel so we can talk more about DSI and this amazing report. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. That was really useful. I think just to clarify this whole concept of digital social innovation, it'd be really good to get maybe one or two examples from the other panelists. Visitors first, Glenn.
Yeah, sure. So we've got a few different ideas out there that we've worked with about 40 companies around the UK that have set up and are working. And there's a group that's working here in Northern Ireland. And the problem they wanted to address was, if you're working on a new development or a new tower block goes up in your area, why was that not consulted? Maybe if you lived within 100 meters of it, you got a letter through the post and you could post something back, and it's this horrible, inefficient process to go through with the local council. So what they do is they actually want to work with planners as well as local authorities to build an app where you draw a map. You draw a circle on a map around an area that people might think with a proposed development, and you can put your plans in it, and you can ask the community what they feel about what's currently there, what the kind of changes are going, and with that idea, the idea is to reduce kind of planning delays, and to kind of get stronger community buy-in. And the expectation is that this can make not only consultations cheaper, but reduce the need for planners and developers to have to go back and redraft plans and re-engage with the community. And then the projections are it can save companies up to about 30 to 35%. So there's a fairly commercial example. There's one example that we've got that's less commercial, which is called there's a game being built called Flowy, and this game is built by there we are. This game's built by someone called a guy named Simon who had an experience in the past with panic disorder. And one of the things he found was when he was having panic attacks, he would reach for his phone. So he was taught these breathing retraining exercises, is what they're called. And with breathing retraining exercises, it's meant to slow your breath down and arrest panic attacks. So what he's done is he's built a game. There's a little character on your phone. You control the character with your breath. And that links into these breathing retraining exercises and helps you breathe properly and slow down the panic attacks. So this is massive for not only the 300,000 people in the UK who experience panic disorder and around the world, but also for the ability of the NHS to kind of monitor their treatment, how often they're using the app, as well as to kind of signpost people who are not currently under treatment, seeing a psychiatrist, to be signposted to the kind of support that's available. So there's a couple of things from a couple of different areas.
That's very interesting, Dan. Matt, any thoughts from yourself?
Yeah, I can kind of give three very, very quick examples of where I see digital helping in social innovation. First one was a project that we did, which we called Code for Pizza. Essentially, every month I'd buy £80 worth of pizza, and lots of people would come and eat it, and in return we get work. Now, essentially what it meant, we got about 300 man-hours of work every single night from developers and designers that wanted to work on subjects that were close to their heart. We did very well with public transport data and route maps, and people making beautiful apps for that. We couldn't get the data released, so I think that was mentioned in one of the earlier talks, but I hear that's coming. And that worked really well, but we also had people, we had the head of the ambulance service turned up and said, we've heaps and heaps of data about accidents and the times of year and the weather conditions at the time. I mean, this is the sort of stuff you could use. Well, big data didn't exist then, but you could predict where accidents were going to happen. That has to be worth something. It means we can't stop the accidents, but at least we could have an ambulance nearby. A second one I heard about in TEDx Belfast a couple of years ago, where the founder of PlaceSpeak came across, and they were talking about the idea of moving all of voting online. And that has its own issues with digital inclusion and digital literacy, but the idea that people can be consulted on things that are in local government is incredibly compelling to me, and PlaceSpeak have, I think they have a guy in Belfast now. And the last one is, digital, for most people, is actually more about communication. It's about just being able to find out information. So we see companies like Learning Pool in Derry have just produced some apps for one of the social care skill sets, or the social care skills groups, so in Scotland, I think, and that's where they're able to put process and they're able to put contact numbers and all that into the hands of practitioners and carers out in the community. And similarly, knowing that there's a group of people that can do work. I mean, I do some, my chair's at the back of the room there, Mary McKenna, and she works with Task Squad, and that's about using digital platforms to essentially get people who have previously been involved in volunteering off and actually doing, work for corporations. I mean, I think that digital is a great way of just passing the information that there are people that are willing to do things, or there are volunteer groups that are able to do, to actually make real core change. And that communication alone is worth the investment.
Thanks, Matt. Always inspiring. I think we have to pause the discussion there. If anybody wants to continue in this vein, you're very welcome to join the panel in breakout room 1. Otherwise, we will move on. Thank you, folks.
Excellent.